Morning, everybody. So I was watching this video this morning from Gabriel Kundalini. I like watching his videos because he reminds me of myself and the way I think, and puts out points that maybe I hadn't considered. And I don't mean thinking the same things I think, but thinking along the same line of thinking that life really is balance. And he had a video this morning where he talked about the higher and lower self and the issues that we have in society with. His example was waking up in the middle of the night and going for a piece of cake, and how certain beliefs in especially Eastern philosophies, and I can't remember the actual person he was quoting, but it was a belief system that was I think it was maybe Buddhist in nature, but it was about denying the lower self pleasures in order to attain that higher state of vibration. And he used an example with a prism, how red vibrates at a lower level than, say, green, yet they're all still parts of the prism. And I found that to be a very eloquent explanation. I see, life is like a battery. The polarity has to be there, and you have to have the negative in order for the positive to flow. But when I say negative, I don't mean negative in a bad way. And I think that this is one of the major misconceptions, is thinking that a lower vibrational rate is somehow inferior to a higher state of being. Now, this goes along the lines of thinking that we're all trying to get back to, I guess, God, if you want to call it that, or source. But to put it into a wider context, it's the universe began, say, infinitely small, and it's now expanded into what we are. We are here, we exist out of that original all-inclusiveness, and now we've separated into separate minds. And it wouldn't be drawing too much of a conclusion to say that we are all going back to source one way or another. This doesn't mean that it's a particular religious way of thinking. It just means that all begins, all ends. It's chaos, everything falls apart. But denying the earthly pleasures that we are given by the universe, to me, is going in the face of what the universe would want, if the universe has a mind indeed. That we are put here to make the most of it and to try to attain a higher state of being, higher state of mental faculty, but we're still here to embrace what we have, because it's here, and this is the earthly realm, this is the three-dimensional realm that we live in, regardless of the reason, of the long-term goal or reason for humanity. And I know a lot of belief systems have dealt with this issue by creating things like evil or sin, because sin is a way of saying, okay, well, we have these earthly desires, we naturally crave them. Sugar is the only food for the mind, for the brain. The brain craves sugar. We are genetically designed to crave sugar. And to deny that, and that's just one example, but to deny that is denying our own pleasure, in hopes that by denying our own pleasure, we're making God happy. And that's where I draw the line. I don't see that we would exist here merely to be tested, which that's a recurring theme in a lot of these religions, is that anything that you desire or crave in this three-dimensional realm is a test to see how faithful you are to your belief system, or to see how you can resist, to use your inner strength. And in a lot of cases this is true, such as greed and selfishness and stealing. We know we could take more than our share. That anybody who lives in a house knows that they could jump the fence and steal stuff off their neighbor's porch and go hawk it and make money for themselves. If people were that selfish, it would be chaos, but people aren't. people care about one another, and people care about other people's feelings, and people are not that selfish. But it doesn't mean that we have to deprive ourselves of things that we're given. Some people refuse gifts as if it's somehow damaging to the soul or the psyche to accept a gift from someone, because it makes one feel out of control of their own destiny, as if, well, I don't need help. But over the last few years, I've learned to accept help when it's offered, because people want to help one another, and I don't like it when people turn down my help, because I want to help people. So I guess what I'm saying is that there are good and bad times, there are positive and negative feelings, and there are times when all you want to do is serve those around you, and there are times when you just want to serve yourself. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, just so long as you're using a coherent mindset to make sure that you're not overdoing it or taking more than your share. And even people like Manly Hall, who in a lot of his philosophies talked about being completely selfless, always doing everything for others and not doing for yourself. And I can't agree with him either on that line of thinking. I think what it stems from is our guilt when we do things for ourselves, or our guilt when we have something that someone else doesn't. So we feel like if everyone can't have this, then I shouldn't either. And I don't think that that's a very healthy way to live. I think that prevents us from enjoying the satisfaction of reward. Because our minds work on a reward system, and we have endogenous chemicals, serotonin and dopamine, which are released in these times of enjoyment, like eating chocolate, eating that cake. And there's no reason to deprive ourselves of earthly enjoyment merely because we think that the universe doesn't want us to be happy. So it's a very deep issue, but that's the most I could get out of it. It's a matter of, I've had people tell me, well, you're just, you don't believe in the Bible, therefore you're selfish, or your desires are greedy. Certain people have called me, satanic, as saying Satanists are all about the self and self-satisfaction. And that's not what I'm about at all. I'm about finding a balance between my satisfaction and those around me. And I think that's what life's really about. It's not about being selfish, and it's not about giving everything away. It's just about that fulcrum, finding that fulcrum. So, peace everybody. I hope you all have a good day.